All right, welcome to Reading Explorer 1, Unit 2. So this is the Unit 2 guide. I'm going to go through the unit with you, go through the questions, do some of the reading, and help you along with this unit, and hopefully you can complete it all and learn some great things. We're going to begin here. Welcome to Unit 2, Travel and Adventure. Get ready to learn about life-changing trips, extreme sports, and mystical lands. Don't forget to record your voice whenever you see the Vocaroo symbol. Try your best and send me your work so I can give you dojo points. Good luck. So, if you see this symbol, you will want to record your voice, record your answer, or record your reading, and you can do that by going to this website. It's vocaroo.com. You can just put that into your browser and you can go to this website. All you have to do is click this record button. It will record from your computer or your iPad or your tablet, and you will get a link to that recording that you can send to me, or you can put your link in the drawboard. You can paste it in the drawboard. And of course, for all my students, they get dojo points if they complete the work. Also, you can do your work on drawboard.com. This is the app I'm using right now, or you can actually do it in the Google Chrome browser. This is a new thing. This is really great. But make sure you download it and send it to me. So, first thing, we have Drawboard. If you go to drawboard.com, you can actually use your account to access this file. I can give you login details. You can access this file and do it on Drawboard, or you can do it on an iPad or a tablet, also on Drawboard. If you don't have that, you can actually just download this file, and you can go to Open With, so you can right-click Open With Google Chrome, and this will take you to Google Chrome, where you can access the document, and you can actually write on the document if you click this squiggly line. And then when you are done, you just have to save the document, and then you can download it and send it to me. So that's it. Here we go. Let's begin Unit 2, Travel and Adventure. Travel and Adventure. Here we go. We have a lovely picture here. You can see that we have a bridge, we have some people walking on the bridge, and we have a really incredible background. This view is really incredible. I'll read the caption here. Hikers on the Charles Quonen Suspension Bridge in Ronda, Switzerland. So this is all about a big bridge in Switzerland, and I put a screenshot of a video you can watch on YouTube if you like. It's about the world's longest pedestrian suspension bridge. So this is the bridge, and it is a suspension bridge, so it's kind of floating. It looks like it's floating, it's suspended, and it's a pedestrian bridge, which means only people walking can go on it. So no cars can go on it. It's a pedestrian bridge. Only people who are walking can go on it. Okay, so let's look at some warm-up questions here. I have the questions here, and I put a space here for you to answer the questions, and we also have the Vocaroo symbol. So this is a great opportunity for you to write your answers and record your voice. The first question is, which places in the world would you most like to visit? Why? Second question is, what is the most adventurous trip you have been on? Okay, now, take some time, put in your answers, maybe even record your answers, record your voice, and I'm going to show you my sample answers, just in case you need some help making your answer. So number 1 here, which places in the world would you most like to visit? Why? Here we go. This is what I said. I would most like to visit Argentina and China because I am interested in learning about each country's culture and history. So there we go. That's a simple answer. I answered the question directly. I said I would most like to visit and then I gave my countries, Argentina and China, because, and that's good to say why, we have to say why, I am interested in learning about each country's culture and history. Okay, now one thing here, I made a little mistake. And this is a very common thing that students have trouble with sometimes. I didn't put capital letters, or I didn't put uppercase letters for the names of the countries, but you have to do that. You have to put uppercase letters for the names of countries. Okay, question number 2. What is the most adventurous trip you have been on? That's a good question. Maybe you have a really exciting answer. I'll show you mine here. Surfing in Australia for several months was the most adventurous trip I've been on. So you can see the way I answered this was a little different. I didn't answer the question right away by saying what is the most adventurous trip, or the most adventurous trip I've been on, and then give the answer. I actually reversed it. I gave the description of my trip, surfing in Australia for several months, and then I used the question, was the most adventurous trip I've been on? And if that grammar is a bit confusing, I've been on, that's okay, it's a bit tricky, but it's a really good grammar tense to use. I've been on, I have been. Okay, so surfing in Australia for several months was the most adventurous trip I've been on. Or if you want to use the question directly when you answer it, you can say, the most adventurous trip I have or I've been on was when I went somewhere, blah, blah, blah. So you can do that. You can do any way you want. Make sure you write it and record with Vocaroo so that I can check it, and we will move on now to our infographic that we are going to read. This is the infographic here for Unit 2A. We can see that it is just a map with some information. So an infographic is usually a picture with information, with some text telling you something. All right, let me just zoom in here. Cycling the Americas. In 2005, Greg Bleakney and his friend Brooks Allen began an amazing 2-year cycling adventure. We can see this here. We could call this the legend when we have a map and we have some symbols that we need to read. We call it a legend. So we can see that this one here is the route. That means the route, all this red line that we can follow. The total distance is 30,500 kilometers. And then this symbol, this image represents mountains. Okay, so let's look at it a bit more. Let's see what's happening. First, I'm going to read through these questions, and then we'll look at the infographic a bit more, and then you can do your writing answers. Use the map and the information above to answer these questions. Where did the two friends travel from, and to? How did they travel? How far did they travel? How long did the trip take? And then finally, why do you think they wanted to make this trip? Discuss with a partner. Okay, so let's look at this. We have really an interesting map here. We have this starting point, which is in Alaska. I guess this is the Prudhoe Bay in Alaska. And we can see that they have a route here. They're cycling. So these are two friends in 2005 that are cycling all the way from the top of North America to the bottom of South America. Okay, so they're cycling. They go all the way down to San Francisco, California. They go to Mexico City. And it's really cool. They go here, and then I guess they take a boat across. You can do that. You can take a boat across the water and then get into Mexico, and they go through Mexico City. Then they go down to Panama City. So they go to Central America, and all the way down they go through Bolivia, and they go through Argentina, and finally they finish up at Ushuaia. I'm not saying that properly, I'm sure. Ushuaia. I think that's how it is. And that is the end of their trip. That's where they finish. Okay, so let's look at the writing. I took the questions and I just put them on the next page below so that you have some room to write here. So where did the two friends travel from and to? How did they travel? You can put in your answer. If you want, you can do a full sentence. I don't have a sample answer here for you, but it'd be nice if you put in a full sentence. And then how far did they travel? How long did the trip take? You can just look at the infographic for those answers. And then why do you think they wanted to make this trip? This is a nice question because now you can think about why two people would want to make this really, really long trip, which took a really long time. They started in 2005, and I don't think we know how long the trip took yet. Oh, we do. We do know how long it took. Okay, so quite a long time. All right. I put in just a sample beginning phrase for this answer. You could say, I think they wanted to make this trip in order to, and then you can put in your reasons, maybe 2 or 3 reasons. Next, we have the reading here, the reading passage. Okay, so this is a great thing to read through. You can read through, you can record your voice, you can do it on Vocaroo. It's always good to listen to how your pronunciation is when you're reading these English passages. So what you can also do is you can also shadow me. When you shadow, it means you say the words, you repeat after the person who is reading, but you repeat just a bit after, not at the same time, just a bit after. You can shadow me if you like. You can do whatever you want. You can listen to me read. Here we go. I'm going to go through it. The trip of a lifetime. Many people dream of going on a great travel adventure. Most of us keep dreaming. Others make it happen. Greg Bleakney's dream was to travel the Americas from top to bottom. He got the idea after he finished a 1,600 kilometer bike ride. Greg's friend Brooks Allen was also a cyclist. The two friends talked and decided on their goal. They would travel from Alaska to Argentina by bike. To pay for the journey, Greg and Brooks worked and saved money for years. In 2005, after 4 years of planning, they set off. Once they were on the road, they often camped outdoors or stayed in hostels. In many places along their route, local people opened their homes to the two friends and gave them food. And a hostel is just a cheap place to stay when you are traveling. In Guatemala, Brooks Allen and Greg Bleakney cycled through Tikal National Park. There we go. Lessons from the road. During their trip, Greg and Brooks cycled through deserts, rainforests, and mountains. They visited modern cities and explored ancient ruins, such as Tikal in Guatemala. In many places, they met other cyclists from all over the world. In May 2007, 2 years, 12 countries, and over 30,500 kilometers later, Greg eventually reached Ushuaia, Argentina, at the southern tip of South America. Halfway through the trip, Brooks had to stop. He returned to the United States and Greg continued without him. Greg and Brooks kept a record of their adventures in an online blog, so an online website. The trip taught both men a lot about traveling. Here is some of Greg's advice. Travel light. The less baggage you have, the less you'll worry about it. Be flexible. Don't plan everything. You'll be more relaxed and happy even when there are challenges along the way. Be polite. As one traveler told Greg, always remember that nobody wants to fight, cheat, or rob a nice guy. Okay, well, that's good to know. And we have some words here. Ruins. Ruins of something are the parts that remain after it is damaged or weakened. So ancient ruins, these are very old ruins of buildings from a long time ago. If someone robs you, they take money or property from you. No one wants to rob a nice guy. Many Antarctic cruises start from the port of Ushuaia in Argentina. This is because it's so close to Antarctica. Okay, there we go. That is the reading. We have some reading comprehension questions. I'm just going to talk through these, and you can try to do them. Do them yourself. Go back and check the reading if you need to. It's always good to check the reading. Make sure your answers are correct. So number 1, what could be another title for the reading? Cycling from Alaska to Argentina, things to do and see in America, Argentina, the land of adventure. Well, I think the title was originally The Trip of a Lifetime, which is a good title. But you could put in a different title if you like, and you can choose which one would be the best title. Number 2, which sentence about the trip is not true? To pay for the trip, Greg and Brooks saved money and traveled cheaply on the road. During their trip, Greg and Brooks met cyclists from all over the world. Only Brooks made his complete trip from Alaska to Argentina. So you have to go back. I think it's good to check the reading and see what the answer is for that. Make sure you're correct. In paragraph F, what does baggage mean? Things you take on a trip, places you visit on a trip, reasons for going on a trip. 4, paraphrase. Paraphrase is a really good skill to have. It's when you say something in your own words. You give us the information, but you just say it a little differently. You paraphrase something. What does Greg mean by be flexible in paragraph F? So can we paraphrase this? Can we say this in another way? Be careful when you travel. Be ready to change easily. Plan the details of your trip. Okay, be flexible. What does that mean? Inference. This is also really good as well. This is trying to figure out what the writer is saying, what you can get from the reading passage. So which statement would Greg most likely agree with? When you travel, only stay in hostels or with people you know. Bring a lot of things on your trip so you don't have to buy anything. When abroad, learn how to say thank you in the local language. So you can think about what he would agree with, what he would say, yes, that's a good thing. And you can know that by inferring, by reading the story again, reading the passage again, and thinking about what type of person Greg is. Okay. In Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, the sun does not set from mid-May through mid-July. Okay, so it's very far north, so the sun doesn't set. It's always up in the sky, even at 3 in the morning. All right, B, main idea. Match each paragraph with its main idea. Main ideas are very important to know. The main idea of a passage or a paragraph, those are really important because that's what the main thing is. It's the most important thing in each paragraph or in each passage. So think about all these and look at all the options they have and try to connect them. Try to connect them. And that's it. And now we will move on to the reading skill. We're going to look now at the reading skill. The reading skill is understanding maps. Like other visuals, maps can help you better understand a text. Most maps have a title, a scale to show distance, a key or legend, a guide of symbols or colors used, and a source where the information comes from. A map may also include a compass to show where north is. Let's look at this map below with all of these different items of information. Okay, look at the map below. Label the parts of the map with these features. We have key, we have source, we have scale, we have title, we have compass. We have here the ancient Maya Empire. Very interesting history here. The ancient Maya Empire, during its golden age, AD 250 to 900, the Maya Empire included what is now southeastern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and the western areas of Honduras and El Salvador. And we can see here on the map those areas. We can see these areas, these countries, what they are now, and we can see where the Maya Empire existed. And we have this nice shading in here. This box shows us that the shaded in area is where the Maya region was. So you just need to look at all the other things on this map and try to connect them, something like that. You can actually put in just the number in the box like that, 4. So just remember that the map has a key or a legend, and that's the guide. That shows you what the symbols are. So that's really useful. A map also has a source, which means it's where the information comes from. Where does the information come from? So you can find that. It has a title. It has a scale. Scale is very interesting. Scale shows you, okay, if I go this distance on the map, how much does that equal in real life? How many kilometers? Okay, and we also have a compass. Compass is very interesting. Compass shows you where north is. And if you know where north is, then you know east, you know west, and you know south as well. So you can complete that exercise, and then you can complete this one. B here. Use informations from the map above to complete these sentences. Circle the correct words. The ancient city of, and I always say this wrong, Teotihuacan in Mexico was or was not a part of the Maya Empire. So you can use the map to actually find your answers. It's really great. You have information on the map, and you can see what is true and what is not. The distance from Teotihuacan to Tikal is less or greater than 400 kilometers. That you would have to use the scale. You'd have to measure there. Tikal is located in northern or southern Guatemala. It is close to the border with Honduras or Belize. So you can just circle what answer you think is correct. And then we have a short answer question here, just a few sentences for the answer. Look back at the map on page 22. Which parts of the journey do you think were the most challenging for the cyclist? Why? Discuss with a partner and note your ideas. So you can write your answer there. You can write what parts of the journey you think were most difficult. We have a lot. We have a very long journey here. So what do you think was the most difficult, and why do you think it was? Think about the terrain. Think about the geography, the roads, the mountains, the climate, the weather, things like that. Vocabulary practice. Complete each sentence with the correct answer. Okay, we have 4 questions here. The first one, if something is ancient, it is very, and then you can select your answer. Number 2, blank is an example of a modern invention. We have the cell phone or paper. A record of an event will help you blank it, change or remember. If something is a challenge, it is blank to do, difficult or easy. B, completion. Complete the information using words from the box. We have advice, goals, journey, relax, route, and worry. And we have the Vocaroo symbols, so if you want to record your voice, that is fantastic. You can put in your answers and then you can read this whole passage here. Every year, many people make mistakes when they go hiking. Here's some blank that can help you stay safe. Before you start your blank, leave a map showing the blank that you are planning to take. If something goes wrong, for example, if you get lost, you should stop. This means S. Stop. Try to blank and stay calm. T. Think about your situation. O. Observe, look around, and notice where you are. P. Plan what to do next. Set 1 or 2 simple blank for yourself. It's also important to stay on clearly marked trails. Don't blank. Someone will eventually find you. And another activity with the Vocaroo symbol. Word usage. These are great exercises to look at how words can be used differently. Some words, such as record, can be either a noun, like a person, a place, or a thing, pronounced record, or a verb, pronounced record, like I'm going to record you. Complete the sentences with the correct words from the box. Then circle the stressed syllable in each word. So in English, we have words that are spelled the same, but they mean different things, and actually their pronunciation can give you a clue as to what they mean, which version of the word they are using. So this one is, we have the bold here. So the bold is the stress of the syllable. So this one has the stress on the first syllable. So we say record, record. I know this might be a bit strange, but we say record. And then this one is record, record, record. And the stress is on the second syllable, record, record. And this is record, record. Okay, so a record is a thing and to record is a verb. We have address or address, object or object, and of course, again, we have record or record. We found a strange blank among the ruins. Once I've found somewhere to live, I'll send you my new blank. You should blank your travels in a travel diary. Good job. It's time for part 2B of Unit 2. I'll just read this caption here. Land diving on Pentecost Island, Vanuatu. Before you read, look at the photo, then answer the questions below with a partner. What do you think is happening in the photo? What is the most dangerous sport or activity you have tried? B. Look at the reading title and headings. What do you think these activities have in common? Check your ideas as you read. Okay, so let's look at this photo. It's pretty incredible. We have a man here jumping off this platform. It looks like a platform that is made of branches and trees and sticks. There are some people who are watching, and he has some vine. This looks like a vine. I'll just write that. A vine tied around his ankles, and he's jumping off the platform, going towards the ground. Okay, so these questions here, these are writing questions. I've made some space down below for you. Number 1, what do you think is happening in the photo? You can start with I think. If you like, you can say I think. I think this man is jumping off the platform. Or you can say whatever you think is happening. Number 2, what is the most dangerous sport or activity you have tried? The most dangerous sport I have tried is... And then you can put in your answer. Here we go. Adventure Islands. You can follow along. You can shadow me. You can read the text silently in your head. This is Adventure Islands. Vanuatu is a nation of small islands in the South Pacific. Let me just show you that here. So small islands in the South Pacific. There we go. Near Australia. It is one of the smallest countries in the world. But for those interested in adventure and sport, there is a lot to do. Some of the best swimming, snorkeling, and sea kayaking can be found here. Vanuatu's islands offer visitors 2 of the most exciting and dangerous activities in the world: volcano surfing and land diving. Volcano surfing. On Tanna Island, Mount Yasur rises 300 meters into the sky. Yasur is one of Vanuatu's few active volcanoes. It erupts almost every day, sometimes several times a day. For centuries, both locals and tourists have climbed this mountain to visit the top. Recently, people have also started climbing Yasur to surf the volcano. In some ways, volcano surfing is like surfing in the sea, but in other ways, it's very different. A volcano surfer's goal is to escape the erupting volcano without being hit by flying rocks. It's fast, fun, and dangerous, the perfect extreme sport. Land diving. Most people are familiar with bungee jumping, But did you know that bungee jumping started on Pentecost Island in Vanuatu almost 15 centuries ago? The original activity, called land diving, is part of a religious ceremony. A man ties 2 tree vines around his ankles. He then climbs a wooden tower around 20 to 30 meters high, crosses his arms, and jumps headfirst. The goal is to touch the earth with the top of his head without breaking the vines or hitting the ground hard. Every spring, local boys and men still perform this amazing test of bravery. Women are not allowed to dive, but they support the divers by dancing and singing at the bottom of the tower. Many tourists come to the island every year to watch this ancient tradition. Okay. And we have some words here. When a volcano erupts, it throws out hot rock called lava. An extreme sport is a sport that is dangerous and exciting, such as skydiving or bungee jumping. A ceremony is a formal event, such as a wedding. A vine is a plant that grows up or over things. So we saw those vines tied around the man's ankles. Reading comprehension questions. Here we go. What is the purpose of this reading? You can put in your answer there. How are volcano surfing and land diving similar? Okay, do you remember from the reading? In paragraph A, what does those refer to? Well, let's just go back to paragraph A. It is one of the smallest countries in the world, but for those interested in adventure and sport, there's a lot to do. Okay. Next, which sentence is true about Mount Yasur? Okay, which sentence is true about land diving? Okay, so hopefully you can get all your answers. If you need to pause the video and do your answers, you can. And I'm going to read this. Vanuatu is also a popular destination for scuba divers. Underwater creatures there include extremely colorful sea slugs, like this one. That's very pretty. Moving on. Evaluating statements. This is a very good activity for practicing your memory and remembering what information was in the text, what is true, what is false, and what is not given. This is a little tricky. The not given part. This is when they say something, but it wasn't even mentioned in the text. Sometimes this can be very difficult. Are the following statements true or false according to the reading passage? Or is the information not given? So if they talk about dogs in one of these sentences, you know, oh, that's a not given. They didn't even talk about dogs in the reading passage. Okay, so Vanuatu has more than one active volcano. You can check that. And so what you need to find in the reading is, did they actually say that, or did they say it doesn't have more than one active volcano? Because if they say Vanuatu doesn't have more than one active volcano, it's false. But if they don't even talk about active volcanoes, then it's not given. Volcano surfing came to Vanuatu from another country. Okay, so did they say that it came from another country? Did they say that it originated in Vanuatu? Or did they not even talk about where it came from? You have to ask yourself that. More people get hurt volcano surfing than land diving. Did they even talk about that? I don't know. Both men and women can do land diving. Is that true? Or is that false? Or do we not know? The land diving ceremony is a popular tourist attraction. Okay. Reading skill, scanning for details. When you read, you often want to find specific details in the text. Before you read, you first need to decide what to look for, e.g., a person's name, a place, or a number. Once you know what to look for, scan the text quickly to find that information. Scanning for key details. This is a great skill to have. Very, very important skill, actually. Scanning can really help you go fast through a text. And if you're doing a test or an exam, or if you just want to be a really great reader, then scanning is really nice because you can get information quickly and it can help you understand things quickly and it can help you understand things better. We're going to read the questions. What kind of answer will you need to scan for? So this is great. When you get these types of questions, reading comprehension questions, you can first think about, what do I need to look for? What are you actually looking for? And then you can focus in on what you should be scanning for in the reading passage. So where can you surf in cold water? Well, where is a big clue there. Where? So you're looking for where you can do that. So you can circle what that means. How high are the highest waves on the Silver Dragon? So what are we looking for here? You can circle what we're looking for. We're looking for how high the highest waves are on the Silver Dragon. So we need to be looking for a piece of information about those waves. Number 3, why is surfing possible in so many places? Why? So we're looking at why. What other hobby is popular among surfers? What's another hobby that is popular among surfers? Okay, scanning. Now scan the text below and write answers to the questions above. So we just looked at all this stuff, all these things we need, and we haven't read this passage yet, so we don't know, but we will find the answers by reading through it. And now it's good because we know what we're looking for. So this is a really good thing to do. If you want to plan your reading comprehension tasks, you can figure out first what you need to look for. So scan the text below and write answers to the questions above. You can read this whole thing, or you can just scan it. You can go through it really quickly and look for all the things that you need from these questions above. And you need to fill in all these things, all the answers, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these things. And I'm just going to read through it now, but you can complete the work there. When you think of surfing, you probably think of Hawaii, Australia, or Brazil. But surfers don't need warm weather or even an ocean. For example, some surfers ride the waves in the icy cold waters of Antarctica. Other surfers head to China's, I'm going to say this wrong, China's Qiantang River to surf the Silver Dragon. Twice a year, the waves on the Qiantang can reach a height of 10 meters. And I'm sorry for saying that wrong. Surfing is possible in all these places because a surfer only needs 2 things, a wave and a board. There is always a risk, so surfers need to be strong swimmers. They also need good balance and an ability to think and move quickly. This is why skateboarding is a common hobby among surfers. Okay, and we have a writing question here, final question on the page. Imagine a tourist wants to try an extreme sport or activity in your country. Where would you suggest they go? What should they do? Note some ideas and share them with a partner. So please write your answer. You can say something like, in my country, and then you can say what your country is. If your country is China or Canada or Finland, you can say, in my country, say the name of your country. Tourists can do many different sports like, and then give some examples. And what you suggest they do and where they should go, and share your answer. And we will move on to vocabulary practice. Vocabulary practice. This is the last page before we go on to the video. You're doing good. Circle the correct words to complete the information below. If you lead an almost or active lifestyle and want to learn an extreme water sport, consider whitewater kayaking. Many people head to Chile every year to kayak along the many rivers and rapids that the bravery or nation is known for. The United States also has many popular kayaking spots, such as the Great Falls of the Potomac River. The falls lie almost or familiar entirely within the state of Maryland. Whitewater kayaking is very dangerous. So why do people do it? For some, it is a test of centuries or bravery. For others, it makes them feel alive. And we have the word rapids here. They're a section of a river where the water moves very fast, often over rocks. A whitewater kayaker on the Potomac River. Definitions. Complete the definitions using words from the box. One word is extra, so be careful. One word is extra here. We won't need it. If you blank something, you touch it with a lot of force. Something that is blank is the very first of its kind. An or a blank is a period of 100 years. If you are blank with something, you know or understand it well. If you blank two things together, you join them using rope or string. If you blank from something, you run away from it. And collocations. Collocations are a great thing to know. In English, we have a lot of collocations. So the nouns in the box are often used with the word original. Collocations are when you have two words that usually are a pair. They work together. They usually appear together. Complete the sentences with the correct nouns from the box. So, original idea, original owner, or original song. These are collocations. These words usually go together. The land was returned to its original what? The students came up with a very original what for how to solve the problem, and we wrote and performed an original what for the music competition. All right, it is now time to start the video. I'm going to play the video, we'll watch the video together, and then there are some questions to answer, and then you are done the unit. Good job. Here we go. It's time to go through the video. It's called Exploring Laponia. A view of the northern lights over Laponia, Sweden. Before we watch, we're going to go through some questions, and to find the video, there is a link here in the drawboard. If you go to this link, you can get all the videos for the Reading Explorer series. Read the information. The words in bold appear in the video. Circle the correct words to complete the definitions. Laponia in Sweden is a large wilderness area of high mountains, ancient forests, and beautiful lakes and rivers. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, it covers over 9,400 square kilometers of untouched nature. Erlend and Orsolja Harburg, a husband and wife team of nature photographers, have made several trips to this area. On each trip, they carry a lot of food, clothes, cameras, and camping gear. Orsolja describes taking photos here as a real adventure. A wilderness is an area of natural land that is, and you can select which one is correct, is or is not used by people. An untouched piece of land is in its original state or is cleaned by people. A photographer's gear is the goal of their trip or the set of things they take with them. Okay. What kinds of challenges do you think the Harburgs face on their trips to Laponia? Discuss with a partner and note some ideas. So you can write an answer here. You can write, I think some challenges they face could be, and then name some things like the extreme cold maybe, or not being close to any big cities, maybe not having a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so these are some questions to think about while we watch the video. We're going to watch the video. I'll watch it with the subtitles on so you can see the English words printed in text at the bottom of the video. And let's see, were any of your predictions in before you watch be mentioned in the video? What other challenges are mentioned? I think what you should do for this one, for the writing question, you can just answer what other challenges are mentioned. What other challenges are mentioned? So let's go back here. What kind of challenges do you think they would face, and what are some other challenges that are mentioned? And then you're going to watch the video again. You can watch this on your own time and write a short answer for each question, or you can write this after watching the video once. Is it easier to explore Laponia in winter or summer? Why? What are some types of food the Harburgs carry with them? What happened to Orsolja on one trip? Okay, Those are some questions to answer. And then the last question here, think about the activities or adventures you have learned about in this unit. We've learned some great stuff here. Remember the bicycle trip that took 2 years, the land diving and volcano surfing in Vanuatu, and we're learning about Laponia now. Which ones would you want to try? Which ones would you not want to try? Okay, so think about all the activities and adventures. What do you want to do? And what do you not want to do? And you can say why. At the end of every chapter, there's a vocabulary review. So this is good. You can go through these. And if you are really confident, if you know these words, you can give a check mark. And you can also look at your notes and see if you wrote any tips or information or definitions of these words in your notes. Okay, so let's watch the video and then you can answer the questions and you will be done. Unit 2. Here we go.
The Laponia World Heritage Site in Sweden is located just above the Arctic Circle. It is one of the largest wilderness areas in Europe. Orsolia Harburg and her husband Erland are nature photographers. They have traveled all over Laponia to take photographs of the area. There are no people around for miles, and many places in Laponia are extremely hard to get to. But the Harburgs are familiar with this land, both its beauty and its danger. They know the challenges of traveling, living, and working in an area that is completely untouched.
You just got in such a special mood there. You really slowed down on these trips.
The Harburgs have returned to this land many times. Winter is the easiest time to travel around Laponia. The Harburgs use sleds to pull their gear over the smooth snow. With the sleds, it's easier to transport heavy gear. The weather can get very cold here during winter, below -30 degrees Celsius, and the winds are very strong. In summer, the sleds don't work, so the Harburgs have to carry all their gear on their backs. They carry food such as oatmeal, crackers and cheese, chocolate and nuts. There is no communication with the outside world here. And it's easy to get hurt or sick if you're not careful. On one trip, Orsolia slipped on a rock and fell into a river. Luckily, she wasn't seriously hurt. The Harburgs work well together because they always support each other. They work as a team to take photos that show the amazing beauty of this land.
And that's it. You're all done. Congratulations on finishing Unit 2. Next up, Unit 3, The Power of Music. I'll see you there.